Hey, you large spectrum of beautiful people. So, due to the most recent events of the COVID-19 spread, I decided I want to make another coronavirus video. So, today, what I want to rant about is how we can prevent more spread of the coronavirus, as well as other things that we actually do to help each other out and what we can do to help our fellow humanity get through the pandemic and apocalypse that we seem to be slowly dipping into. So to start off with, I want to go over some of the most recent updates. So as per the New Zealand Ministry of Health, there's currently 66 cases in New Zealand. It looks like 3 of those are in Christchurch. So it's still nothing major to panic about. We're not as bad as some of the other countries, such as Italy is being hit the hardest at the moment. They're actually quite bad. They're higher on the death toll than what China was. So we're not in a terrible position here. Obviously, my sympathies goes out to Italy, as well as every other country that's experiencing the virus and any kind of death that may have come from it. Also, just to bring out the point, same thing as I mentioned in my last video, which if you do want to go ahead and watch that, then you can click the annotation that's above right now. And as I said in that previous video, this isn't a time to be jumping in and starting to panic buy and going in and raiding all the pack and saves, countdowns, fresh choices, all those kind of places. It's not a major deal we need to worry about right now. We do have quite a lot of the things that you need, such as the current meme going around at the moment being the toilet paper, as well as like hand sanitizer, stuff like that. But the other thing that we're really missing that is a little bit harder to get right now is the hand sanitizer, the alcohol wipes, stuff like that. That is stuff that we will get in eventually, and we'll be okay to last with that. But everything else, canned food, bread, pasta, for God's sake, all that kind of stuff we do have. It's just the fact that people are going in and panic buying right now, so the stock shelves always look, well, unstocked, empty, because there's too many people going and panic buying at the moment. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't go in and buy like an okay amount for like a fortnight or whatever. If you're doing your normal shopping, you normally buy a large amount, then that's fine doing that once, like a fortnight as I mentioned. But going in every day or so and just buying a ridiculous amount to try and sit in your house for the end day, waiting for time to stop and for for humanity to basically die off, that's probably not the best thing to be doing right now. You probably want to be looking at just buying what you need. Don't freak out about how you might run out of pasta or oh god, you might run out of toilet paper, so we need that right now. So yeah, at the moment there's no need to panic. Don't freak out. There's no significant issue that we can see that we're going to run out of food and all that kind of stuff, and then all of New Zealand is just going to slowly die off from hunger. That's not going to happen. In fact, a bit of a positive that's come out of this is that we at least get to keep all our good food. We're not having to ship that off and export it to other countries. We get to hold on to the lamb and mutton and steak and so on and so forth. So we're at least getting the prime cuts that we keep complaining about in the past, how we have to export them. We don't get the good stuff. Another thing I wanted to bring up too is that Jacinda has been doing a great job with being Prime Minister at the moment. She's had a real shit run. I mean, she's been hit with the whole pregnancy thing with, oh god, you're pregnant, we can't have a pregnant Prime Minister. And then getting hit with the shooting in Christchurch, which was just, again, a terrible situation. And she got hit with that, having to take care and announce that everything's going to be okay, let's try and do what we can to support each other. And now she's also been hit with this fucking coronavirus outbreak. So she's had a pretty tough time being Prime Minister in here. I mean, the worst thing that happened in the last Prime Minister, which was John Key, was, I've decided that I'm going to pull some girl's ponytail. It's like, oh yeah, okay, so that's the worst case scenario for you. Fucking good job, John. Anyway, enough of the negativity and all that's been going on at the moment. Some of the things I wanted to talk about were things that we can actually do to help each other out. So, I mean, if anyone that you know is in quarantine or in isolation for the 2 weeks, then like help them out by going out, buying them groceries, whatever. If someone you know is unable to get around because they don't have a car. If they need a bus normally, it's probably best to actually avoid buses at the moment. So if you can give them a lift, then give them a lift. Drive them around places. Help them with their shopping if they need to. Help them just get around the city at the moment. Because a big thing we want to probably try and avoid is so much public transport. Like I did a video recently on public transport and how I actually really do think it's a good idea. And again, if you want to check out that video, then click the link in the annotation that's up above right now. But what I want to go into with the bus and stuff like that is that it's going to be too congested to have so many people in that area. Let alone the fact that at the moment I don't believe we have anything with stopping cash with public transport, so you can still use cash at the moment. Probably not the best idea. So if you can drive people places, 100% you should drive them around, help them out, help them get to like the appointments that they might have, help them get to the doctor, all that kind of stuff, to pick up their prescriptions, the chemist. Something else that we want to look at as well is making sure that we're actually washing our hands too, and washing our hands properly. And I know it's a little stupid to have to explain how to wash your hands, but I mean, you'd be surprised how many people don't know how to wash their fucking hands. I mean, first off, hot water. Secondly, you want to make sure you're scrubbing for like 20 seconds with soapy water as well. And making sure you're actually getting into the creases as well of your knuckles and everything too. And just making sure that you dry your hands off afterwards, and making sure you're not, I don't know, don't wash your hands and then cough directly on them. It's probably not a good idea. Make sure you're coughing into your elbow as well if you are going to cough. We'll go more into that a little bit later into the video. But yeah, you just make sure you're washing your hands correctly, and just making sure that you're not spreading it via that and leaving droplets on your hands, because at the moment the coronavirus is still droplet form, so not major risk like it would be if it was airborne, but still something that we can be worried about if people aren't washing their hands correctly and taking care of themselves. So I'll put a link in the description as well to the Ministry of Health and how they actually explain how to wash your hands, in case anyone wants to actually review that and just take a look and see the exact specifications that the Ministry of Health is giving people on how to help prevent this. You know, while we're on it, let's talk about the coughing as well. So coughing and sneezing, don't do it into your hands or on like your forearm. You want to be going directly into your actual elbow. And making sure when you are coughing or sneezing into your elbow, don't do like a half and half. Like if you're going to cough, don't cover your nose and then cough outside, so you're not actually hitting it in your elbow, and vice versa for sneezing. Don't just cover your mouth and then sneeze over top of your arm so it still goes everywhere. That's just, one, it's not good and bad practice in general for like politeness, and two, especially in these times where we've got this pandemic going around and it's so easy for people to get scared and frightened and start to panic and have paranoia. It's not a great idea to be perpetuating that by just sneezing and coughing without actually covering yourself, and I mean, it puts a risk on you as well as other people, especially if you're in like an environment where you're working with lots of people, and like a call center environment, for instance. You don't want to be coughing and sneezing all over like the keyboard and mouse, let alone if you do what's called hot desking, which is it's a situation where you would actually be sitting at one desk and the next day you might be sitting at a different desk and someone else could be sitting where you were the previous day. So if you are coughing and sneezing like that, you're covering it over the keyboard, then you've basically bumped up the chances of getting infected to 100%, whether it's the coronavirus or even just in a normal situation where it's just the flu or a cold or something else that's relatively mild to it. If you're doing anything like that, then it's just a bad time for everyone. Just remember as well, if you have been put into like a quarantine or you think you might have it, so you're self-isolating for those 2 weeks, just make sure you're actually isolating too. Keep yourself, I believe it's 2 meters away from anyone else. If you're living in a flatting situation, then make sure if you are doing any cooking yourself that you're wiping down and then making sure you're actually sanitizing the area that you were using, so you don't spread anything else around. And the main focus there is, if you're isolating, then stay isolated. Don't go outside and go for a walk and go buy some stuff from the grocery shop or whatever like that. Talk to your family, friends. I'm sure that, especially if you're in a flooding situation, I'm sure that someone that you're flooding with would be happy to go out and help you out by getting you some things that you might be a necessity to actually have. Like, let's chuck the meme in there again, toilet paper. So, yeah, just make sure you're actually isolating correctly and not perpetuating more of this panic to get yourself potentially kicked out of the country, like we've had with a couple of people who have tried to come into the country quite a while ago now, it was, I believe, who decided that, oh, I don't have any plans. Oh, sorry, let me put on a. Well, I don't really have any plans for what I'm going to do with like the isolation. I mean, you'll have to catch me first, won't they? Deported. Look, I'm not saying we should deport everyone and anyone that makes like a passing joke or anything like that. But if you're coming out as like a legitimate threat to not isolate yourself and do what happened a while ago with the man who decided, oh, I've got the coronavirus. I know. I'm going to go infect a shitload of people by just walking around, coughing on everything, and let's just spread the plague. That's a great idea. Let's kill everyone. Let's kickstart everything off. I am now going to make myself patient zero, even though I'm like the 400th person to get it, but irrelevant. I am the spreader of the virus. I am deaf. Look, at the end of the day, guys, what I think we need to do is just make sure we're looking after each other. Look after yourself, but also look after each other. Help anyone out that you can, and all in all, just I don't know, be good people. Just have the common decency to be a good person is probably the best advice that I or anyone else could ever give you. But yeah, that's mainly everything that I wanted to talk about with today. If you guys wanted to add anything to it or have any experiences you wanted to share, then leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to check them out and read through them and put any replies that I can. Yeah, I'll put some other links in the description too for anything else that the ministry is pushing out for New Zealand and what we can do to help out, how we can stop the prevention, and any other information that would be useful for us all to know. So yeah, welcome to the Inslate. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, comment and subscribe. If you want to support my channel, check it out in the description. I do have a Patreon as well as a Facebook and Twitter page as well. You will have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video.